Part 1. Hey Reddit. I never thought I'd be the guy posting one of these stories. You know the kind, my life just went sideways, and I don't know what to do type of post that everyone reads at 2 a.m. with a mix of popcorn and pity. I've been a lurker here for years, scrolling through other people's dramas like I was binge-watching Netflix. Now, apparently, the universe decided it was my turn to star in the show. So buckle up. This might be long. Actually, scratch that. It's definitely going to be long. But if you've got the patience, I could really use some outside perspective, because right now my head feels like it's been put in a blender. It all started with something so stupidly small, I almost laughed it off. A single gold hoop earring. My wife's earring, to be exact. The missing earring. 2 weeks ago, my wife, Emily, not her real name, obviously, was getting ready for work. She's a nurse, which means most mornings are chaos. Coffee in one hand, scrubs in the other, half a piece of toast hanging from her mouth like she's some stressed-out anime character. That day, she stopped in the hallway with a frustrated groan. Ugh! Where's my earring? I literally just had it. I looked up from my own morning routine, aka trying not to burn my eggs, and saw her standing in front of the mirror, one ear accessorized, the other bare. I made some dumb joke like, maybe you decided to quit the marriage before we do. She gave me the classic, not amused, wife glare, the one that says, you're funny, but I'm too stressed to laugh. She searched the bathroom, then the bedroom, then the kitchen. No luck. Finally, she sighed, said she'd look for it later, and left for her shift. I figured it would turn up in the laundry or wedged in a couch cushion, like socks always do. End of story, right? Wrong. So very wrong. Enter my best friend. Fast forward to last Friday. I was heading to meet my best friend, Ryan, for a beer. Ryan and I go way back. We met in college, lived together for a year, survived a road trip that should have ended in our arrests, don't ask, and basically know each other inside out. He's like the brother I never had. He picked me up in his car, since mine was in the shop. I slid into the passenger seat, tossed my jacket on the floor, and that's when I saw it. A glint. Something small, shiny, wedged between the seat and the console. At first, I thought it was just a coin, but when I reached down and pulled it out, my stomach did this weird little flip. A gold hoop earring. Not just any earring. The exact same type my wife wears. In fact, it looked identical to the one she lost. I froze. For a second, my brain scrambled for other explanations. Maybe Ryan had a date recently? Maybe he gave a girl a ride home? But even then, what are the odds that this random earring would match my wife's missing one? I shoved it into my pocket before Ryan noticed, and spent the rest of the drive trying to act normal. But inside, I was spiraling. The beer that tasted like poison. We got to the bar, and I swear I couldn't even taste the beer. My brain was on repeat. Why is Emily's earring in Ryan's car? I tried to make small talk, but everything out of his mouth sounded suspicious. He laughed about work, complained about his boss, told me a story about his neighbor's dog. Normally, I'd be laughing along. But I was too busy staring at him like I was trying to read his soul. At one point he asked, "Dude, you good? You seem off." And I just muttered something about being tired, which wasn't a total lie. I felt emotionally exhausted already. Playing detective. That night, I waited until Emily was asleep and pulled the earring out of my pocket. I held it up next to the one she still had. Identical. Down to the tiny engraving on the clasp. I felt sick. Like, physically ill. I didn't sleep much that night. My brain kept flipping between two channels. Channel A. There's no way! Emily loves you. Ryan's your brother. You're being paranoid. Channel B. It's too much of a coincidence. People don't just lose earrings in their best friend's car. The next morning, I casually asked Emily if she'd found her earring yet. She shook her head, sipping her coffee, and said, "Nope. Still MIA. I'm so annoyed. They were my favorite pair." I almost blurted it out right there. "I found it. In Ryan's car." But the words stuck in my throat. Instead, I just nodded like some coward in a bad movie. Cracks in the wall. Since then, I've been watching her differently. Every little thing she does, I analyze. If she smiles at a text, my stomach knots. If she works a double shift, I wonder if she's really at the hospital. It's like I've turned into this paranoid detective version of myself, and I hate it. And Ryan, God, even hanging out with him feels different now. We've grabbed beers a couple times since then, and I keep waiting for him to slip up, to give me some clue. But he's just Ryan. Same dumb jokes, same easy laugh. Which almost makes it worse. Because if something is going on, he's a damn good actor. The boiling point. Last night was the tipping point. Emily came home late, claiming she got stuck covering for another nurse. She looked tired, but there was this edge to her. Like she was nervous. She kissed me on the cheek, went straight to shower, and I sat there on the couch staring at the TV without hearing a word of it. When she came back, she sat next to me and rested her head on my shoulder. Normally, that would melt me. But all I could think was, is this guilt? Is this her way of making up for something? And here's the kicker, she whispered, almost too soft to hear. "You know I love you, right?" Why would she say that? Out of nowhere. It felt like a knife in my chest. Where I'm at now. So here I am, Reddit. With an earring in my drawer that shouldn't exist, a best friend I suddenly don't trust, and a wife whose words feel heavier than they should. I feel like I'm one confrontation away from either blowing up my entire life or discovering I've been paranoid for nothing. But how do you even bring this up? "Hey honey, I found your earring in Ryan's car. Care to explain?" That sounds like the opening line of a soap opera. And if I confront Ryan, what's he going to say? "Oops, your wife must have just dropped it in here by accident." Accident. Yeah. Right. The thing is, I need to know. I can't live in this limbo much longer. Every day, it's eating me alive. So what do? Do I confront her first? Him? Do I play dumb a little longer and try to catch them if something's actually happening? Or do I accept that maybe, just maybe, I'm losing my mind over a coincidence? I feel like whichever way I move, something's going to break. And here's the worst part. Deep down, I think I already know the answer. I'm just too scared to say it out loud. End of part 1, to be continued. Part 2. Hey Reddit. Back again. Didn't think I'd be posting an update this soon, but after the last couple of days, I feel like I'm standing in the middle of a minefield, blindfolded. Every step feels like it's going to blow my life apart. And the thing is, I still don't even know if the bomb is real. So a lot has happened. Let me walk you through it. The drawer and the secret. After my first post, I kept the earring hidden in my desk drawer at work. I didn't trust myself to keep it at home. Every time I looked at Emily, I felt like the damn thing was burning a hole through my pocket. At work, I'd open the drawer, look at it, then close it again. Over and over. Like some twisted security blanket. A stupid piece of metal controlling my every thought. Finally, I decided I needed proof. Real proof. Either the earring was exactly hers, or it wasn't. So one night, when Emily was in the shower, I grabbed the one she still had and compared them side by side. Same engraving. Same scratch near the clasp. These weren't just similar. They were the same pair. That's when I knew I couldn't ignore this anymore. Playing detective round 1. I told myself not to go full spy mode. But yeah, I did exactly that. I started checking her phone whenever I could. Not snooping in a cartoon villain way, more like casually glancing if she left it on the counter. Except it never was. She used to leave her phone all over the place. Now it was always in her pocket, or face down, or in her hand. Coincidence? Maybe. But in my brain, it felt like a neon sign flashing guilty. I even checked our car's GPS history. Thank you. Built-in navigation. Nothing out of the ordinary. Hospital, grocery store, Target. No mysterious hotels or late-night drives. That should have comforted me. It didn't. Ryan, the best friend? Meanwhile, Ryan was acting normal. Too normal. We hung out again last weekend. I watched him like a hawk, waiting for some weird slip-up. He joked about his boss, asked about our fantasy football league, bought me a beer. If he's hiding something, he deserves an Oscar. At one point, I almost pulled the earring out and slammed it on the table between us. Explain this. I didn't, though. My heart was pounding, and I chickened out. Instead, I asked casually, "So, been seeing anyone lately?" He shrugged. "Nah, man. Same old, same old." That answer made me feel both relieved and sick at the same time. The almost confrontation. Here's where it gets messy. 2 nights ago, Emily came home later than usual. Said she stopped for groceries after her shift. She put the bags down, smiled, and kissed me on the cheek like everything was perfectly normal. But I'd already checked the car. No grocery bags. So I asked, trying to keep my voice light, "Where'd you go shopping?" She froze. Just for a second, but I caught it. Then she said, "Oh, Walmart." Which would have been fine, except the receipt in one of the bags was from Target. I felt my chest tighten. I wanted to scream, "Why are you lying to me?" Instead, I just nodded and helped unpack. Like a coward. Later that night, lying in bed, she rolled over and asked, "You okay? You've been quiet." And all I could say was, "Just tired." But I wasn't tired. I was drowning. The snooping goes too far. Last night, I crossed a line. She left her purse in the kitchen, and I went through it. My hands were shaking the whole time, but I couldn't stop myself. Inside, I found her wallet, lip balm, hand sanitizer, and a folded note. My heart nearly stopped. It wasn't long, just a scribbled line on a crumpled piece of paper. "Had a great time. Can't wait to do it again. R. R." My brain immediately screamed Ryan. Who else could it be? I shoved the note back, my pulse hammering in my ears. I felt like I'd just found a bloody glove at a crime scene. The blow-up. This morning, I finally cracked. I couldn't keep pretending everything was normal. Over breakfast, I asked, as casually as I could manage, "Hey, do you know anyone who signs their name with just an R?" Emily looked at me like I'd grown another head. Ryan? Rebecca? Why?" I shrugged, trying to play it cool, but she narrowed her eyes. "What's going on?" And that's when I lost it. I pulled the earring out of my pocket and slammed it on the table. "Explain this. How the hell did your missing earring end up in Ryan's car?" She went pale. Like, completely drained of color. Her mouth opened, then closed. For a second, she didn't even breathe. Finally, she whispered, I don't know." That answer broke me. "Not. What are you talking about?" "Not. That's impossible." "Just, I don't know." I pushed harder. "Don't lie to me, Emily. I found it wedged between the seat and the console. That's your earring. What were you doing in Ryan's car?" Tears filled her eyes, and she shook her head. "I swear, I don't know how it got there." I wanted to believe her. God, I still want to believe her. But how do you misplace an earring in my best friend's car if you've never been in it? Unless you have. The aftermath. We didn't finish breakfast. She ran upstairs, locked herself in the bathroom, and cried. I sat there staring at the earring, feeling like my whole world had tilted sideways. When she finally came out, her eyes were red. She wouldn't look at me. She just said, I need to get to work, grabbed her bag, and left. And me? I sat there for hours, replaying every second of our marriage in my head, wondering which parts were real and which parts were lies. Where I'm at now. So here I am again, Reddit. I confronted her. She didn't deny the earring was hers. She just said she didn't know how it got there, which somehow feels worse than an outright lie. And then there's the note. Had a great time. Can't wait to do it again. R. I didn't show it to her yet. I don't know if I can. Part of me is terrified of hearing her explain it. Part of me is terrified of her not being able to. And Ryan? I haven't confronted him yet. But I feel like that's coming. I can't avoid it much longer. The thing is, I don't know what's worse, if they're both lying to me, or if somehow I've spun myself into paranoia over coincidences. But deep down, I think I already know. I'm just not ready to say it out loud. End of Part 2, to be continued. Part 3. Hey Reddit. Well, this is it. The last few days have been the longest of my life. I feel like I aged about 10 years in one weekend. My hands are shaking even as I type this, but I need to get it out. You've followed me through the missing earring, the paranoia, the half-truths. Now I've finally got answers. And honestly, I kind of wish I didn't. The confrontation with Ryan. After my last post, I knew I couldn't sit on this anymore. Emily's reaction had wrecked me. That, I don't know, was like acid in my veins. The note in her purse haunted me every time I closed my eyes. There was no way around it. I had to confront Ryan. So I called him. Told him I needed to talk. He sounded normal, maybe even cheerful, which pissed me off more. How could he sound cheerful if he was stabbing me in the back? We met at a diner, middle of the afternoon. Neutral ground. I sat down, and before he could even ask how I was, I pulled the earring out of my pocket and set it on the table. His face. God, I'll never forget it. His smile faded instantly, like someone had flipped a switch. He stared at it, then at me, then back at it. Where'd you get that? He asked. My voice was steady, but my heart was hammering. From your car. Between the seat and the console. You want to tell me how my wife's earring ended up there? He blinked, swallowed, and for a second, I thought he was going to come clean right there. But instead, he leaned back, rubbed his face, and said, It's not what you think. The oldest cliché in the book. I wanted to throw my coffee at him. The story he gave me. He told me Emily had been in his car, yes. A couple of weeks ago. But not because of an affair. According to him, she'd asked him for a ride after work, said her car wouldn't start. Look, man, he said, holding his hands up like he was trying to calm a wild animal. I was gonna tell you, but she asked me not to. She didn't want you stressing about her car. Said she'd handle it herself. That explanation, it almost sounded reasonable. Except for one thing. Why wouldn't she just tell me? We share bills. We share everything. Why would she hide something as small as car trouble? Unless it wasn't about the car. I pressed harder. And the note? Had a great time. Can't wait to do it again. R. You want to explain that too? This time, his confusion looked real. He frowned, shook his head. I have no idea what you're talking about. The breaking point at home. That night, I couldn't take it anymore. I showed Emily the note. Her reaction was complicated. She froze, then burst out laughing. Not the reaction I expected. It wasn't cruel laughter, more like disbelief. "You think this is from Ryan? Are you serious?" She explained, or at least claimed, that the note was from Rebecca, one of the nurses she works with. Apparently, Rebecca signs everything with just an R. The note was about some dumb girls' night out they had. Drinks, karaoke, the works. And here's the kicker. She actually pulled out her phone, showed me a group text thread with Rebecca and a couple other nurses, joking about that exact night. Pictures, even. Emily in a ridiculous feather boa, holding a cocktail the size of her head. The handwriting on the note matched texts Rebecca had written on birthday cards before. So yeah, that part? Not Ryan. I felt both relieved and stupid. But the earring? That was still real. That wasn't explained away. The real truth, or so she says. When I circled back, Emily finally admitted it. Yes, Ryan had given her a ride. Yes, she lost her earring in his car that day. And yes, she asked him not to say anything, because she knew how I'd react. "Babe," she said, tears in her eyes, "you've always been a little jealous about Ryan. You think I don't notice? If I told you he drove me home, you'd read into it. And now, look where we are." I wanted to argue, to tell her she was wrong. But deep down, wasn't that exactly what happened? I found the earring, and my brain went nuclear. She swore up and down there was nothing going on. That she loves me. That she'd never do that to me. She begged me to believe her. The conversation with Ryan round 2. I wasn't satisfied. So the next day, I called Ryan again. Told him everything Emily had said. He backed it up. Word for word. Same story. And then he said something that gutted me. "Man, if you don't trust her, what are you even doing? I'd never touch Emily. You know that. If you can't believe either of us, then the problem isn't us. It's you." That stung. Because maybe he's right. Or maybe he's just really good at lying. Where things stand. So here I am, Reddit. I don't have the smoking gun I thought I did. The note wasn't from Ryan. The earring has an explanation, even if I hate it. Emily swears she loves me. Ryan swears he'd never betray me. And yet, I can't shake this feeling. The way she froze when I first confronted her. The way Ryan's smile vanished at the diner. The way everything feels just a little off. Maybe I've let suspicion rot me from the inside out. Maybe I'm destroying my marriage over coincidences and lies I told myself. Or maybe they really are hiding something, and I'll never know for sure until it's too late. The cliffhanger. Last night, after all the tears and promises, Emily fell asleep next to me. I lay there staring at the ceiling, my mind racing. Around 2 a.m., her phone buzzed on the nightstand. I don't usually do this. I swear. But I picked it up. One new message. From Ryan. "Can we talk? I can't keep doing this." And that's where I'm at. End of part 3.